ribonucleic acid. There are a few things that are different between RNA and DNA. So I want to mention a few differences between them. RNA. So RNA is ribonucleic acid. In other words, it has the sugar called ribose. So the sugar is ribose. DNA has the sugar deoxyribose. Okay, so they have different sugars. This one, obviously, it's a deoxy, so it's one less oxygen. Different sugars. RNA also is one strand. Okay, it's only one strand. So it's a single strand. DNA is double strand, two strands. And one other thing, there's other differences, but the three main ones that we're going to talk about. One other difference then is RNA does not have a T, doesn't have a thymine. So remember, DNA has A, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. RNA doesn't have this. It has a U instead of T. So it has a uracil, which is another type of base, but it's found in RNA, not in DNA. So it has A, it has uracil, cytosine, and guanine. So the U is different. RNA, U. Okay? RNA has a uracil instead of a thymine. So when we're matching up the DNA to the RNA, there will not be a T for the RNA. Okay, so let's look at that. Different types of RNA. There's actually a few different types. There are three main ones we're going to learn about here. Are messenger RNA. And this is the one that's going to take DNA's message and take it to the ribosomes for the proteins to be made. There's also a transfer RNA, which helps in building the proteins. And there's ribosomal RNA, which actually makes up the ribosomes. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the messenger RNA first. So messenger RNA and we abbreviate it with just a lowercase m RNA. So this means messenger RNA. This RNA is going to take DNA's message. That's what it's going to do. So let's look at this. We're going to untwist the DNA now. So we're in the nucleus of the cell. I untwist it, spread it apart. The bases are still here. Or each side is going to have bases. Okay, so let's say this is A, T, C, G, A, T, A. That's the DNA. So this is DNA. RNA comes into the nucleus, and it leaves the nucleus. So it goes in and out of the nucleus. It's going to take the message from DNA, take it to the ribosomes, so proteins can be made. And this is just like the Tesla factory. So Tesla, the engineers, have like the blueprints to make the car. They take that information. Factories are the ones that are actually going to use that information to make the cars, the Teslas. But they're in different locations. We have to have a way of getting the message from one place to the other. So maybe you could say the internet then. Could be messenger RNA. Could be an analogy. So DNA, we're going to say, is here. Now we're going to have RNA comes along. Remember, RNA is only one strand. jump into the other side of DNA also. I'm just going to show one side. Okay, so now we're going to match up the bases, base pairing rules. A matches with usually T, right? Remember AT and T, usually. DNA would be T. However, there's no T in RNA. There's U. So instead of a T, it's going to be a uracil. Thymine, T matches A. Cytosine matches G, C and G. G, C. A, remember there's no T. U. T goes with A, U. So this is the messenger RNA that's going to leave the nucleus and it's going to go to the ribosomes where we can make proteins. So this is messenger RNA. So this is going to be taken out of the nucleus and it's going to go to where proteins are made.